Hi everyone, so I am back with another book review today. This time I read Rewiring Tinnitus, How I Finally Found Relief from the Ringing in My Ears. I was excited to read this book because I had never heard of it before. A family member actually recommended it to me as they were curious if I found the recommendations inside to be accurate. So tinnitus is a difficult topic to talk about. It's very individualized for every person that lives with tinnitus and can be difficult to treat. So I was hoping that I was going to find a new tool to add to my tool chest to recommend for my patients to use. So I interpreted this book as both a memoir of the author Glenn Schweitzer. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. As his personal experience of tinnitus, living with tinnitus and tinnitus management. But it was also kind of a self-help guide to success with the strategies that he found to be useful and helpful in managing his tinnitus. Unfortunately, while there were many aspects of this book that I agreed with and enjoyed, overall I wanted to like it a little more than I did. So I'll start with the aspects that I did enjoy. I was very pleased that he started with a large disclaimer as he is not a clinical or medical professional. So it's important that you don't take advice as, medical or clinical fact without consulting a professional. So I was glad that he had that disclaimer at the beginning. And he also recognized at the beginning that there's not one cause or one sort of cure-all for tinnitus, so everyone is a little bit different. He presented the book as a guide for better living and healthy habituation to one's tinnitus by changing their emotional response to it. He did this specifically through meditation, but there are a few different ways that individuals can work on that. And he again recognized that right now there's no cure for tinnitus. There's just ways to manage it to make it easier to live with. I really enjoyed that this account was largely positive. So he was always writing in a kind of positive voice, whereas many accounts of tinnitus are often negatively depicted or seen as hopeless, but he was very positive. And finally, at the end of the book, he presented many accurate and easy to understand guides for both healthy living that will also help with managing your tinnitus, as well as hearing conservation, which is also very important. So, on the other hand, I had a difficult time reading his colloquial writing style. It just was not easy for me to read. But more importantly, specifically in the second section, so the book was split into 3 parts. In part 2, there were many inaccuracies presented about other forms of tinnitus management, so not the meditation that he was really kind of advertising. But he had said something along the lines of the fact that tinnitus retraining therapy and ear level maskers will not work on patients with hearing loss, and that is absolutely not true. As a result, I found some of areas of this part 2 to be contradictory and inaccurate. After he had initially recognized that different tinnitus management strategies work for different individuals, but then he seemed to kind of discount them as expensive or ineffective in order to advertise for his own website and his own tools that he was selling, such as brainwave entertainment. Although ultimately he is not a medical professional. So while he provided a disclaimer at the beginning of the book, I don't think that he really reinforced the necessity to consult a professional while he was seemingly kind of providing his own medical advice. So that second part of the book really threw me off. But overall, I think that it was a positive personal account of tinnitus management that many individuals with tinnitus will effectively relate to. And again, I did enjoy both part 1 and part 3 of this book. it was just part two that was a little contradictory and inaccurate. I think that if you're interested in tinnitus management through meditation, that you should definitely read this book, but be sure to consult a professional before taking any of the information presented here as fact.